Thank you so very much, viewer. Welcome back to the show. As we went on a break, we were discussing the fears of a single parent as they get into step parenting.
Yes.
And here is a lady who is worried and has, I don't know whether we call it a stigma, or she's worried that their children may be molested or harmed, and they are afraid of engaging themselves in step parenting. Can you give them hope?
Yes, there is hope. Thank you very much. Maybe looking at those fears, we would want to probably, as a counselor, I would want to understand, why are you fearful that this man that you love so much is going to be the same person who is going to molest your children? Because it's not just maybe the girls who can be molested. Nowadays we are hearing quite a lot of things are taking a different perspective, where boys are also getting molested. And so I want to explore this journey with this lady and be able to understand, why are you fearing like this? One of the things that probably brings about fears in one's life is maybe what they have gone through before.
Yeah.
Maybe they have experienced violence. Maybe they have experienced that molestation. And so this is something already in their hearts, in their minds, and they know that probably this is likely to happen.
Yeah.
So then as a counselor, I will want to explore that with them. So why are you fearful? And then the other thing that probably will come in handy is to be able to discuss these fears with the person to be, the stepfather, to this girl or to this boy. It would be important to give it that perspective, where you would want to talk about all your fears, explore with them whatever it is that you think isn't going to be working right. And because then this is going to become a relationship that you're going to get into, it will be prudent for you to discuss it and talk about maybe your fears, your anxieties, talk about even expectations. What are you expecting in this relationship? What do you expect of me as the lady? What do I expect of you as the man? And then the man will also give me whatever he expects of me, and also whatever he expects of maybe to be happening in the family. So have a discussion around all that. And at the end of it all, it might help to settle down those fears and those anxieties.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's say they have settled and overcome their fears, and now they are into step
That relationship,
parenting
yes.
together.
Yes.
Whose responsibility is it to raise this child, to discipline this child, to walk them to school, to cook for them? Whose responsibility is it?
Then once people have come together as families, I would want that maybe we remove the issue of now the step issue and let this home run like just any other marriage or any other relationship. Because then if there is that issue of you thinking, what about this stepchild, what about this step boy, that is going to affect the relationship with that family. It's going to affect quite a number of issues in that family, because then you'll be keen that I don't know how to treat this child, I don't know how to treat this girl. But if you can remove all that and put it on the table and say, now this is just a home like any other, it is a relationship like any other, it is a child like any other that maybe we are going to get. Treat each child the same way, because then of course if the relationship, then you will probably have your children of your own. It will be important then to understand that all of these children are the same. It doesn't matter whether it is mine by birth or mine by step parenting, all of them are the same, and treat them equally. So then you remove that issue. So the issue of who raises them, who takes them to school, who cooks for them, the home should run like any other home, and then these responsibilities are going to be shared equally. And I would emphasize a lot on issues of communication. Talk about it. If it is one child who has done a mistake, it is not the child by name. It is actually a mistake because it is wrong. And it is a mistake because it is a mistake. Not because of who has done it. It is a mistake because it has been done.
Yeah. And of course, now that these people have come into this relationship with an already ongoing families, and probably we will have newborns in the family.
Of course.
Who will be the brother and sister to the already existing child.
Yes.
And this child doesn't need to come and learn our differences. So they need to count on as sisters, father, mother.
That should actually be it. And the parents should actually bring even the stepchild as such. There should not be a difference. There should not be a boundary that this is the one who came, or this is the one who you know, whom I found here, and now we are having these children. Because then at the end of it all, because we have some dynamics where you find blended families, and that is still an aspect of step parenting, that you will find, Frank, that you have a child and I have my own, so we come together. So these are two children. I am a stepmother to your child, and you're a stepfather to my child. And then we bring in our own, so we sire our own. We get, those are actually 3 entities if you would want to look at it.
Or 3 genealogies.
Exactly.
Or so 3 cultures.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it is important for you as parents to ensure that there is a smooth flow. You know, there is cohesion within. Let none of them be able to establish that this is not mine and the other one is not his. You know,
we are one blood.
Exactly. Ensure that even the ones who are coming in will not know unless wawambie, you know, like at the end of it all, probably they will know. But let it be known to them in a good way. Not because now I am harassing the child, because then I'm saying you're not mine, or you're harassing my child because then you're saying he's not yours, and that kind of a thing. So ensure as much as possible that you have communicated and you have talked about it, and it is open, you know. And there should not be favorism, that because it is my own, then I tend to say that things are different because it is my own, and then things will be different because it is your own. Lay it on the table. Let it be known that if something happens, it is not because it is you as an individual. It is because this is a family, and it is because it is a wrong. If you do a wrong, I am not victimizing anyone. It is going to be that it is because it is wrong. Okay?
And then you find that there are some aspirations and desires that maybe the children do have. And probably they don't get to achieve them. As a step parent, there's a way you would approach that situation. And if this wasn't your biological child, you don't want to show them that you disapprove of what they have done. And now that they haven't achieved their desires, probably let's give an example of probably the exams or a career objective. They don't achieve it. And you get to a point and say, you are not even my child. That's why, like in our culture where I come from, our children delve probably in education. And for you, the reason why you haven't achieved is because you are not from my biological lineage. Now,
that would be a very wrong way of looking at it. And then I would also question the start of that relationship. I mean, if it started from a very nice note, because I said from the word go that it is usually a discussion. We have discussed, we have come together, and we have said we are coming together, and I have a child or you have a child, and we have come together and we are saying, so let's build this family. So then if someone will then later on talk about you not being my child, then I will want to question the authenticity of that relationship, because then we talked about it, we discussed, and we said we are bringing up these children as our own, you know, as a unit. So then at what point are you breaking? So that would probably be very wrong. Then the second thing that maybe needs to happen, you need to have understood, why did I even want to bring up this child? Because you're actually giving them an opportunity to probably have a parent they did not have. And that's actually that should actually give you some motivation, that I'm actually becoming a mother to a child who didn't have a mother. I'm actually becoming a father to a child who didn't have a father. So if the motive is right, then that should not be happening. Number 2, it would be important to actually ensure that you give all of the support that you require. If you have paid school fees, you have given them the guidance that they require, you have supported them in every aspect, you have provided for them food, you've given them clothes to put on, they are in a nice shelter, such that no one can question you. You've done everything right, but they have opted to go in a different direction. Then you're not to blame. I mean, you will also sit down and say, I did my best to ensure that I have offered a shoulder for this child who did not even have a shoulder to lean on. I have ensured that this child has gone to school. They were capable of maybe good grades. They didn't do it because of one reason or the other, and those kind of things. So ensure that there is no one time that you're going to be charged or you're going to be blamed for having taken a different side. Okay.
We find in some situations we have external forces that are influencing the way you raise these children, like let's say the in-laws, and probably they are influencing so much of the decisions you make in raising the stepchild that came into your relationship. How do you tackle the in-laws and the external forces that influence the raising of this child?
That's an interesting question, Frank, because frankly speaking, it is the two, it's the couple. So any external force, you would expect that it is a negative force, you know, because you'll imagine that maybe they will be saying, no, you're probably giving too much attention to this one and maybe not the other, or you will hear that probably this lady came in with a child here, alikalia kijana yetu, you know, that kind of kind of talks. It is important for you to be able to understand that this relationship is for the two of you. You know, it is you and the lady, or the vice versa. And you should actually be able to shut
your ears from the external
from any
voices.
External voices, because then you know that they are not coming in good faith. And you would actually be able to see, or to even conceptualize that this person is not up to something good. You know, like they are coming in doesn't mean well. You can actually be able to tell when people are coming to bring in positive thoughts, positive improvement in that family, they can actually be seen. But someone who is coming to destroy that relationship, you should actually be able to shun them away. It is actually, if it is coming from the side of you as the lady, then you need to ensure that you take care of those forces. If you are the lady, take care, you know, like shut them down from your side. If it is there from the man, ensure that it is actually the man who also takes it from his perspective. But if you allow every Tom, Dick and Harry to come and run your home, you're bound to fail.
Now, there are those external forces that you cannot ignore.
Yes.
The baby mama or the baby daddy. You may have been in a relationship that brought forth this child, and now you are into a step parenthood. The baby mama to this child or the baby daddy to this child still has interests. And probably they want to come into your lives, probably make some inroads. They want to take them out, they want to pay their tuition fees, or they want to give gifts during birthdays. How do you deal with such people?
As long as they are their parents, the other parents, as long as they are anywhere, then it is the person who is involved to ensure that there are boundaries. You know, there are boundaries, because then you don't keep on telling me that the baby mama wants me to go with the child all the time. I mean, agree with them. There would be an agreement that probably you want to say that this weekend it is theirs, because again they also need to probably have that kind of a relationship. But it would also be, you know, very, very questionable for this child to be having to be thriving from two, you know, like you're having two mamas and you're having two daddies. Like this, I am here with this man, but my child also wants to continue having a relationship. I mean, I think the best way would be allow them to grow here. If this child will make a decision to connect with their parents later on, well and good.
They should be doing it on their own when they are adults. Maybe
when they are adults, or when they are grown, or if they are little and they probably, there are courts that maybe would order that this child accesses the mother or accesses the father
by law.
Exactly. Every so often allow that, but then ensure that there are boundaries. You know, check for what content this child might take from this home and take to the other side, or content that they would bring from that side and bring them here. You know, and that's why I said from the word go that you need to have some communication. Understand. Let the child also understand that it is true. Maybe that is your mom out there, and you're also having another mother here. You will be accessing your mother every so often outside there, and you will probably be coming back here to stay with me. Probably when you're grown and when you're big, you can make a decision if you want to stay here or you want to stay with them outside there. What I do not want, try and put some boundaries. What I do not want is to hear probably that you have taken some information from here and you have taken it there, or you have also brought information from there and you have brought it here. Ensure that there is that kind of communication. You are in communication either with the child or with the children, and you ensure that there is cohesion in this family. And the biological parent is the one who takes care of all that. So then the stepmother or the stepdad does not come in to give you those things, because then the child may not take it very kindly. So it is the obligation of the biological dad or the biological mom to ensure that they talk about whatever it is that they would want to talk about in terms of boundaries with the child.
Closing remarks.
Yes.
Targeting the baby mama who left.
Yes.
and the baby daddy who left.
Yes.
Because I have seen them come back,
Yes.
and probably they are saying, I am doing well now, nimeomoka, I want my child to go with me to the US, and because the local resident feels that their child will get a better life there, so they allow it. That destabilizes the child. I don't know, what are your remarks as we close towards that baby mama and baby daddy?
All right. I think my closing remark would be that if this child would, if they would agree, the parents would agree. If both parents would agree that we would want, I would want to go with this child maybe to the US or to wherever, and the other party is okay with that, then I don't think there's going to be a problem. After all, they are also a parent to this child, and you're also a parent. So you can work on those modalities. You know, you can agree. If you agree that they go together, well and good. If you agree that the child remains with you and probably they'll be sending their help, well and good. So it's actually an issue of you talking about whatever it is that you would want for that child. Yes.
What I can grasp from there, and probably will be another topic,
Yes.
is that there will be some insecurities from the step parent, that the baby mama, baby daddy is coming in and they are taking over the child
Of course,
that
there
I have
are
raised
insecurities.
from childhood,
Exactly.
probably
There
to
would be-
adulthood.
Yes, there would be those fears, but again, remember that you don't have an upper hand. What you're doing is that you're only step parenting. Remember what we said, that this child, you're actually giving them an opportunity to grow with a mother they did not have, or to grow with a daddy that they did not have. So with that, if a situation would come that now the mother they didn't have, now they have, it is okay to say that it's okay. And remember what I said from the word go, that you do not act like you're the biological mother.
Yeah.
Because I see you where you're coming from would be like, am I now losing my child? It would be important for you to even restructure that before and know that maybe at some point this child might go back to the mother,
Yeah.
or this child might go back to the father, so that you reduce on your expectations that you are going to have this child forever and ever, amen. You can only have your own child in your own home, like forever.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So then it is important for you to understand from that perspective that I am only step parenting this child, and at some point they might go back to their fathers or they might go back to their mothers, which is okay. You'll have done your part of giving them a conducive environment to thrive and to grow.
Hot topics never close, and this is just the beginning.
Yes.
We will continue in this. As you watch, leave a comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Jane Ruben, Texas Media, and we will be there to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching.